Whichever of our Mild West movies is your favorite, we can all agree Kevin Costner was born to play a Wes Anderson character. Am I right? Am I right? All right. All right. Corey, drop that beat. Welcome to More Gooder Than.
What's up, Home Tree?
What? Marty is stupid. Boom.
Marty, you moron. Have a good time. I actually very agree.
1,000 years. Anyways.
We're off on tangents. This is feels cuttable.
Consider that a divorce.
A jolly good day to you, Home Trees, and welcome to More Gooder Than, where you rate and dissect pop culture one episode at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Brayton, and I'm joined by my co-host, Corey Sasso.
What up?
And Donnie the Dracar Noir car.
Hey.
For those of you joining us for the sorry, that was funny. Sorry. For those of you joining us for the first time here at MGT, Corey, Donnie, and I each take sides on a predetermined movie trio and try and sway the world to agree with our opinions on which one is most goodest. And today we have more bright colors, symmetrically blocked shots, quirks, and Bill Murray than you can shake a carton of cigarettes at. The mother flippin' Galindo is up to his old tricks again. That rapscallion continues to be a supportive SOB, and so he gets the reward of picking the movies. And he wanted movies with Bill flippin' Murray, the BFM himself. He wanted Groundhog's Day, but we're not going to do that to you guys. We're not going to do that to you again. And so no movies have more BFM than the Wes Anderson films. So he chose The Royal Tenenbaums, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, and The Grand Budapest Hotel. So who's backing which heavily refined film? Find out in this corner. So Don, what do you got?
I got the Royal Tenenbaums.
The Tenenbaums. What you got, Cor?
I got the Grand Budapest. Who the best? Budapest.
Hotel. Budapest.
I know. You know what? The whole time I was watching the movie, I kept saying Budapest. And then today, when I'm getting on mic, I say it wrong.
Yeah.
It's Budapest.
Budapest Hotel. And that means I have The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Port of Call, New Orleans. So buddy up. Put on the final record version of this podcast and let us show you the goods.
It's good.
So I'm really curious about these quickies because there's no way they were easy.
These were the hardest quickies to write. So yeah, it's.
Would you like to write them down in a book and have some weird little kid like check out that book?
Yeah, that would be ideal. I mean, that's generally what I go for anytime I write a quickie.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right, what you got? So Royal Tenenbaums.
Okay, the Royal Tenenbaums.
You got this.
Donnie was the youngest child of the Carr family, and by age 41, he had found himself writing brief, humorous synopses of movies for a podcast he did with two of his friends. Usually these quickies were profoundly amusing. But on occasion, he encountered a movie so odd as to defy his normal writing process and leave him thoroughly at a loss.
Bro, his quickies have been so good lately. They're just, you've taken it up a whole nother level. So was this your first time watching it, right, Donnie?
Yes.
For sure. Corey, yours?
Yeah, what are your thoughts? Not my first time.
Okay.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
I enjoyed all of these movies. They are just quirky and droll as hell. And they were, I don't want to say they were the same movie, but they were the same fucking movie.
He has a style.
It's a style.
Definitely has a style.
Yeah, you could intercut all these movies and it would still make
absolutely
a Wes Anderson movie.
It actually make the exact same movie.
Yeah.
3 times. So Galindo knows because we've talked before and we mostly text about the Adventure Zone. But I have never enjoyed Wes Anderson films. And I read a review about The Life Aquatic, which was the first one I watched for the show. I had tried watching it previously.
No, Chris, we're on the Royal Tenenbaums.
I understand. But I was reading about it, and they said that it was about what don't I like about Wes Anderson films? Because they're beautifully shot, they're cleverly written, the soundtracks are incredible.
Yeah, they are.
They're incredible. And it's that, and especially with the Royal Tenenbaums and the early ones, people, that people have no reaction to big news. And it's like, oh, like they really pinpointed it. And hey, guys, guess who has big reactions to things? This guy. And so it just is completely foreign and
antithetical to your existence.
Exactly. And so I have a hard time with that. And so watching it, so honestly, I read that to get me in the right mindset. And I'm not going to lie, it fixed a lot of my problems with the movies. It's like, oh, that's the thing. And so then what I started doing was focus on the people in these movies who have big reactions. And those are the times.
Find a buddy and stick with him. Yeah.
Yes. No, yes. And so when I do that, it's like, oh, those are the things you need to pay attention to because that's where the character growth is at, is when someone has a larger than.
So you connected with Bill Murray in this movie?
What
was his name?
Oh, no. I connected with Royal.
Ben Stiller.
With Royal and
Royal
and Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller was, so yes. So Ben Stiller.
Yeah, okay. Ben Stiller.
So Ben Stiller has huge reactions to things. And Ben Stiller actually
like normal reactions to this crazy family.
That's it. And so I'm watching that, and then Royal is just so over the top.
Yeah,
But so I connected with Ben Stiller in this movie, and connecting with him, I was able to get through the movie, and I really, really liked it.
Yeah, I feel like Raleigh. I hope I'm saying that correctly.
It's fine.
Isn't Raleigh the name for the type of creatures that Cthulhu is? The Raleigh?
Oh.
No, that's
they're the old
that's
ones.
his city
That's where
under
that's where
the
he
sea.
lives.
Raleigh's the city. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I knew it was something from that. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Raleigh's very like normal, and he kind of has like normal reactions. Like he can't figure out why his wife doesn't want to live with him.
Well, because he's like 1,000 years old, and he's secretly in love with his little lab assistant.
Yeah, and when he's like, analyzing the little boy, he's just like, interesting. That's fascinating. Like he actually has a reaction to how weird this kid is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his name, Raleigh. But the gosh dang, the music's so good. And Royal reminds me way too much of my grandpa. And just like the whole like just negging everybody.
Yeah.
But then kind of realizing how much he did miss out, and then like wanting to like kind of make up for it and everything. And so anyway, it just so I really connected to it I feel like I watched this movie when I was too young. And like I will say it, I didn't appreciate it for what it was. I really liked it. I did.
Yeah?
I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah.
See, I saw it back when it first came out, and rented it over from Blockbuster.
Yeah, 2001. So I was 17. There's no way this movie was for me.
But see, I enjoyed it at that time in my life, and I feel like watching it again, like the weirdness of it was gone. I already expected it, and so it was kind of like I was a little bored, honestly, watching it this time because like I knew what was coming. The quirkiness was already that trick had been played.
I do see what you're saying. And I feel like when we talk about Life Aquatic, that's going to become an issue for me too, is the quirkiness. But for this movie, I realized what it was. 2001. I mean, this movie was perfect for that time. The deadpan delivery. But what I always say about Wes Anderson films is I said that they're more serious Napoleon Dynamites. And so, you've seen Napoleon Dynamite, right?
They are actually very serious, heavy movies.
Yes, they are. Like
they have some really dark stuff that happens, and like with the quirkiness, like kind of on top of it, it makes it a little weird. But like they're talking about some heavy content.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Angelica Houston is a very.
Is it Houston or Huston?
Houston. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her dad was
Mila
John
Jovovich.
Yeah, Mila Jovovich. I mean, the whole. So, if you said Huston the whole time, or what did you say?
I want to read it Huston. Angelica Huston.
It's Houston.
Just don't.
Yeah, don't do that. That's a bad thing you did. Say socks. But the strikingly beautiful woman. I don't know what it was.
You're not wrong. I all I can see when I look at her is my mom. She's like the doppelganger for my mom.
Then you don't want that. That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird for me.
I think people our age see Morticia Addams, and that opens up a whole
that's
other
relationship
door.
goals right there.
Yeah.
That's relationship goals. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys and be straight with me. Is it wrong for Richie and Margot to be in love with each other? And
that's the heavy content I'm talking about. Like there's multiple things, but like that's one of them.
Yeah,
it's not incest.
No, it's not.
No,
but it is weird. They grew up together.
Royal the entire time does the right thing on accident. So the entire time, this is definitely on purpose from the writing point of view, obviously. But every time he talks about Margot, what does he say? My adopted daughter.
Yeah.
And so that hits it home so much that if he didn't hit it home, and he hits it home so often that it lessens the weirdness of Richie and Margot's relationship.
Yeah.
But he does it on accident.
Mhm.
But anyway, what do you think? Bad, good. Would you bless their union?
Like
Corey?
if I was royal,
If you're royal, let's just say that let's say
Royal does.
Royal does.
Yeah.
He says she's a fine looking woman, which is really weird, Royal.
Yeah.
I don't
You're
know.
It's
I don't
definitely
I don't want to answer this
weird.
question. Next question, please.
I would say
You answered this hard question.
I would say go for it.
I mean,
It's easy to say that, but like if it was really like your daughter and your adopted daughter and your son.
your adopted daughter, Margot.
I wouldn't have either of those things, but so yeah, it is easy for me to say.
I wouldn't be caught dead with children,
Yeah.
but
He'd be caught with dead children,
no.
but he wouldn't be caught dead with children.
Yeah, there's a reason why I don't go to South Dakota much
South
anymore.
But it's just such a weird thing. And
But like he messed that little girl up though all the time, calling her his adopted daughter.
absolutely.
And not
Yeah.
taking her to see the family grandmother and just leaving her out of stuff.
She's probably
He did really
the
awful things to all of his children.
Oh,
he was
he
a
was
she's
terrible
probably the
worst.
most like messed up of the three kids.
I think also Ben Stiller's character. He literally stole all his money.
oh,
And then Ben Stiller had to
no,
had to
he's saying
sue
that
him.
Margot's the most messed up of
Yeah.
the three. I
Yeah.
will say that it was Richie. Richie tried to kill himself. So
Yeah, no, I'm making an argument that it's hard to quantify or
Yeah.
qualify
Oh, yeah.
that she's the most messed
No,
up because
but
they're
Ben-
all messed up.
Ben-
They
Ben's-
are all messed up.
but Ben Stiller was a functioning human until his wife died in a horrible accident.
Yeah.
And so I would say that he was probably an incredibly successful businessman still. I loved him being his little office man. Him being his little office man is just so great. That BB in his hand, such a funny scene.
Yeah.
The BB in his hand.
That
There are
actually
no
was
friends
filmed-
of worse.
That was filmed from one of the other Wilson brothers.
Yeah.
Their older brother was
Andrew.
part of this project. He was like a writer or something.
Yeah, Andrew.
And
so
he really did. Those boys shot him in the knuckle, and he got that BB lodged in this. So that was where that came from.
Owen Wilson co-wrote this movie.
Is it Owen Wilson that wrote?
Co-wrote it.
It's like Robert Wilson or something like that. His older brother was a part of it as well.
Andrew. I think it
Andrew?
was Andrew. And then,
Okay.
of course, Luke plays Richie.
Yeah.
That was really fun. So before we even start recording, Donnie's like, okay, which one's Owen, which one's Luke?
One tried to commit suicide in real life. One tried to commit suicide in this movie. Yeah. So I think I have them straightened out now.
Yeah. That from that point,
Bummer.
that's when it got. Yeah, it really went dark. You're asking the question about whether or not I'd bless it. I can't say I bless it, but I did like it as a plot point. You know, as part of the plot. Like
yeah.
it was really
I'm not saying
interesting
it's
to
easy
see.
because I can't tell you
Because like
either.
they genuinely like loved each other. I like the whole tent scene when they kind of like laid together for a second and like confessed that they loved each other, but like at the same time they also were like, we can't do
Yeah.
this. Like this can't be a thing.
he
but
did.
he-
She
but-
did.
Yeah, I mean he wanted to, but she's being smarter about it. Like they at least got it off their chest, but then they're like, okay, that's just between you and I.
See, I
Like,
feel
that
like-
was really great writing. There was something really special between them.
Oh, it's
Obviously that he would kill himself because she was in love with or sleeping with the neighbor kid.
Eli.
Yeah.
Which wasn't sleeping with a kid, but
Don't say kid. Yeah. He makes so much. He's such an interesting character too, because like you see them as a child and then like you want to be part of the Tenenbaums.
Yeah.
You want to be with them. And then like you realize like, oh man, that
They're
comes
really
at,
messed
that
up,
comes
yeah.
at, that comes at a cost.
From the
Well,
outside, it looks like a cool
things were
family.
great. It's Royal literally screwed them all up so bad. They would
Yeah.
have been great even if he had just like left their life and never been a part of it.
I see. I
But it
don't.
was like
I think that they. I
his
think,
lingering presence that made it worse for them.
right.
Yeah.
I do like how everybody wanted to marry Etheline.
Yeah.
She had like 10 people and like, nah, I'm good. Like she was good. She was so it's funny that you say that she's a doppelganger of your mother. She was written as Wes Anderson's mother.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so
it's
there you go. But Donnie had texted, hey, observation. A lot of these people are in all the movies together. We talk about that too. We talked about that with
Tarantino
the Tarantino
family.
family. How like there was another one that we talked about, but like how they just want to always use those people. It just must be nice.
Yeah.
But I read that Bill Murray.
It is nice when you write characters and you know, like, oh, they're down because
Yeah, they're
they
down.
know this little thing we've got going. This little
Yeah.
joke.
But I
Yeah.
guess with Gene Hackman is incredibly hard to work with.
Yeah.
So he's incredibly hard to work with. And
Bill
so,
Murray would show up on set on days that he wasn't even filming just to sort of like
Mm-hmm.
keep Wes protected from Gene Hackman and keep Gene Hackman in check.
Yeah. It's just,
Is that why Gene Hackman is like a novelist now?
yeah,
and not
he's-
acting.
He's done.
Or did
done
he
too.
die?
So this is gonna make that's but anyway, there's some really, really, really heavy things happening in this movie.
Yeah.
And the way, like you said too, the quirkiness of it is able to deliver it in a way that's palatable.
You're
You're able to swallow all of the,
Yeah.
all of the horribleness.
After I'd finished the three of them, I was like, he's his definite style and his just weird quirkiness. He's like a lighter Jim Jarmusch. And I was like, you know what? He's actually like the darker half of that coin. If you think about
I
it.
guess we're gonna have to watch these Jim Jarmusch movies. This is the second time he's brought
We've
him
already
up.
seen one.
We're getting we're doing a Chekhov's gun thing. Like he's mentioned him once, and so now he's got it again. That means we have to do the movies now.
Yeah.
So
Maybe Morgan is a big Jarmusch fan. Maybe she'll make
Morgan,
you
do-
guys watch.
Make us watch something enjoyable, please. Hey, Alec Baldwin was in this movie. 30 Rock's Alec Baldwin from The Shadow. I love Alec Baldwin narrating things, so that's just perfect right there.
Yeah.
I did, one of the things that I thought was interesting was how they were trying to do it like out of time too.
Yeah.
Everyone was wearing like leisure suits, but
And
like,
a non-distinct town.
I mean, I felt like it was definitely supposed to be
There
New
were
York.
rotary
Yeah.
phones.
Uh-huh.
It was, it's like, what time period does these
Yeah.
movies take place in? They're
that
always
was-
like, you're right, out of time.
Out of time, but like when it says on his gravestone, when spoiler Royal dies, it says 2001.
So 2001.
Yeah,
But
so-
like they're clearly like still like stuck in the 70s.
But
Yeah.
everybody is.
You notice that everybody's clothing never changes?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always are wearing the exact same thing.
Got his
but
tennis headband the whole time.
They're not wearing the same clothes necessarily, but they're wearing
Same like
same
fashion.
thing. Like Margot is always in like a short dress and then that huge coat.
Yeah.
And then
But that's how they would change her for different scenes. Like she'd be in just the dress or she'd be in the dress with the coat and then add like another accessory. Like it would change it, but it's really all the same.
So she's a secret smoker for 22 years, which is
I
very
like
funny.
that. Like the character development, like how she was so secretive that nobody knew she was a smoker for 22
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
And it finally comes out. Like that's fun little
And her
character
prosthetic
quirks.
finger.
Margot is basically Donnie. Like you just find something a little bit about him later on. You're like, that makes me like him more.
No, she's Daniel then.
Oh, you're right. He is more Daniel. We find stuff out about that guy, and just mind blowing.
Yeah.
And also then you're just kind of like, that was a perfectly normal thing to tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that
Doesn't need
doesn't
to be a secret for 5 years.
Yeah, totally mundane. He is a Wes Anderson character. I just realized that.
my gosh, he is in real life, which that definitely makes sense why they would be insufferable in real life. Nothing but love, Dan. Thanks for coming out to the escape room. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the support, buddy.
Danny Glover, Luke Wilson, and Owen Wilson were actually all supposed to be in Ocean's 11. That came out that same
So
year.
we just ruined our new objectively gooder thing because I forget that you look up the IMDb trivia things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That won't work.
I
That
don't
won't
look
work
up
now.
shit.
So we're gonna play this with Donnie from now on. So yeah, it's fine. Just go ahead. I'll figure.
That's it.
some.
They all turned down parts to be in Ocean's 11.
Mm.
So I was wondering, like, was that a good thing? Is that a smart move? When Ocean's 11 was huge.
It was. I don't know. It depends. None of these guys needed the money or
Yeah.
needed the cred in any way.
And this is recognized as like a really good movie.
Owen Wilson and Luke Wilson, of course, have gone on to do lots of different things. Not
Yeah.
even necessarily with Wes Anderson.
I'm trying to think of what parts they would have played. I'm imagining that Luke Wilson would have played the Casey Affleck part.
I think that they would have played Casey Affleck and James Caan's the brothers.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think
they totally could have played those.
the Mormon brothers.
That's that heist.
I was
movie,
thinking Owen
right?
Wilson could have also played what is the guy from
The tech guy,
No, the guy from Born Identity. What's his name?
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. I think he could have. I think he could have also played that part. Maybe.
That obscure actor that was in that Bourne
You
movie.
guys know I don't remember names.
I think Luke Wilson would have done
Matt
a better,
Damon, come on.
better job at Matt Damon.
Really, but I think you're right. The two brothers would have been great because they're brothers.
But also, they were bigger than that at that time because, like, remember, what's it called? Old School had come out at that point. Old School had come out at that point, so like Luke Wilson was big during that.
Mhm.
I don't know. Anyway,
Shanghai Noon. I'm trying to think of what Owen Wilson had been in.
Owen
back
Wilson
then.
had been in. He did all the things with Ben Stiller, of course, too. Like,
God, do you remember how huge Ben Stiller was at that time?
He's just his transition to an elder statesman.
I mean, he was literally in everything.
Oh, I know,
he was like the
man.
funniest dude around, and everybody wanted him.
Remember,
in
they're
movies.
both in Meet the Parents together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were in Starsky and Hutch together, and they were in a lot of stuff together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're enjoyable guys. So I don't know, but yeah, I enjoyed the heck out of this movie. I want that carved on my tombstone now. Heroically, tragically died saving his family from a sinking
He
battleship.
did not deserve that. Yeah.
But like, anyway, it just was an interesting thing about the most important part of the movie is when he said, when Royal like was starting to like lie about the fact like these 6 days have been the best days of my life. And then he realized like, shoot, that's the truest thing I've ever said. I did cry on this movie.
Yeah, but he doesn't deserve it. Like he didn't earn that from his family.
But then at the same time, no,
He's just a bad dude.
He doesn't deserve it, but they gave him the forgiveness anyway, and that's their choice. And they were all better for it in the end.
Yeah.
Because he did
Perhaps.
legitimately change his life around. He was an SOB. And that's straight from no. He didn't change himself completely, because no one changes themselves completely. No. There's still lingering SOB effects in him.
Yeah.
But like he had a close relationship with Chaz. And that's the biggest one that you can tell that it changed, was that Chaz was able to find his peace with him in the end. And anyway.
He had a closer relationship with Pagoda than his family for most of his life.
The Pagoda like storyline was really funny.
I love that he kept stabbing him.
I like, the way he told the story. It's like, yeah, he carried me to a hospital after I got
Saved
stabbed.
my life.
Yeah, saved my life. He's the one who stabbed me, but and then later on, when he gets him fired and he comes out and just stabs him, he's like, "That's the last time you will stab me."
I love it, man. It's so good.
There's some really clever writing.
But I cried
his
when
genius is up there with like Tarantino. Just his ability to like craft really interesting characters and craft these really funny scenes that you're just not expecting in a normal movie experience.
Yeah.
But they're over the top, but they also feel very real. You know what I mean? They're not generic characters.
No.
Yeah.
But so that deadpanness, so Margot is definitely deadpan the entire time.
Yeah.
I think Ethylene is pretty deadpan. Bill Murray's character is pretty deadpan, except for when he's really excited about the Heisenbergen. What's the name of the kid?
Something like that.
Something Heisenbergen. So can he tell time? Oh no, not at all. Just start laughing.
Dudley, right?
Dudley. There you go. Yeah.
Am I really colorblind?
Dudley Heinsbergen.
Heinsbergen.
He has incredible hearing, but is completely colorblind. Yeah. Am I colorblind?
Yeah. He's like in 2 other rooms. Yeah.
Well, they're always in like boxes to have their phone conversations.
Yeah.
So,
well, there is something really interesting about the way he frames his scenes, the way he puts like the main character in the center. It's like that's like a perfect ratio he's using.
So I said it earlier, like it's all of his stuff. They're symmetrical, and they're like, so he does things and like usually he has one color on one side, one color on another.
Yeah. And
so it makes it to where you really focus on things.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work.
I know I wasn't the only one of us three. In fact, it was probably all of us three when Ben Stiller. Actually, there's 2 scenes, one with Pagoda and one with Ben Stiller's character with Royal in the game closet. Were you all looking at, they've got Clue, they've got Operation, looking at all the games stacked in there?
I was looking.
It's a pretty well-stocked game closet.
I was like, I would look at all of them like, yes, I want all those games.
All the classics and then some others that I never heard of.
Hanging from the switch was a
Monopoly house.
Was a Monopoly house. Yeah.
Another funny thing that it was just like a happenstance. Did you notice when not Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson kept talking about like the hawk that he released? And he's
Mordecai.
like, his feathers, Mordecai. His feathers are more white now.
Different bird.
It's a different bird.
Yeah.
Somebody stole the original bird. And so they had to get a different bird, and they noticed that like, this one has more white feathers. So they just kind of wrote that in. I thought it was kind of funny.
I assumed it was a different bird because it was like 20 years prior, and I don't think those birds live that long.
They live a long time.
But do they live 20 years?
I think so.
Huh.
I don't know. Let's look at the old interwebs. But I did. What do you guys think about falconry? I'm just saying. What do you guys think?
To buy time so they can look that up. How about we just hit stop and I go pee real quick?
Yeah, so falcons live. Falcons lived about 12 to 15 years. This is a pretty large
I
falcon.
don't think that was a falcon. That was way too big to be a falcon.
But like I'm just saying, like there's no way that there's any more. So, but no, you were correct that there was that would be dead.
I think Donnie said that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right, moving on. Let's fly away. It's good.
Hey Don, you got another one of them there good quickies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Life Aquatic, also known as Jurassic Park Wes Anderson cut. This tale of betrayal and revenge features many stunning state-of-the-art CGI creatures.
That
was fun.
The jaguar shark was actually stop motion.
Was it?
It was
Yeah.
8 feet long and required like 4 people to operate it with like cranks.
Huh.
So actually, it was practical effects.
That was fun because it did feel like a Jacques Cousteau type documentary where like you're learning about all these new creatures, but they're all just made up things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're real in the fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So this one was universally like basically panned and it
Really?
lost money. And it was because I was talking about it earlier, the deadpanness of it.
Uh-huh.
At this point, it was 2007, was kind of done. Like, oh, like you're just going to do the deadpan thing again? Like that doesn't work for me.
yeah.
And so like he had to actually grow up, and we see that in Grand Budapest Hotel where things
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
But
So it's kind of like what I was saying, like watching the Royal Tenenbaums the second time. It's like, okay, I'm just kind of over like the
And that's what it was.
So people felt that way about this movie.
about this movie. And so then, of course, you see him grow and become stronger in the Grand Budapest Hotel later on. But I loved Bill Murray's character in this.
Bill Murray was great in this.
Because he was reacting fairly normal to all these different things. Like when someone, so basically it's a Jacques Cousteau. It's a washed up Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. And just like everything's breaking. It's got finally Willem Dafoe's in it because he wasn't in Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah.
And where he's just so happy when he popped up on screen.
Yeah.
I actually, when he came, I was like, oh, Donnie's going to be so happy. The soundtrack to this was Sue George. Holy smokes, was it so good.
Yeah.
Because it was all why can't I think of his name right now? David Bowie. And all David Bowie songs that
I thought it was one of these was Mark Mothersbaugh.
he
Was that Tenenbaums? It might have been the last one that I watched.
Mark Mothersbaugh did all of the non-guitar songs.
Okay.
So Sue George did all of the whenever he was singing and doing his
Is the Portuguese covers of
exactly.
Space Oddity and yeah.
but everything else when he's like, okay, play track 1, go. And then like that was all Mark Mothersbaugh.
Okay.
So from Devo,
Yeah.
also of all the Nickelodeon theme songs from your childhood.
Rugrats and whatnot.
All of them. I mean, the man knows how to whip it.
Yeah.
And he knows how to whip it good. Right? But I this was definitely my to pause a little bit on that one, don't we? This one was my least favorite of the 3. But I really, really connected with Bill Murray in this one.
I thought this was the weakest of these 3. I think I probably also laughed more like out loud at this one. There was some really clever dialogue and
And it was just really ridiculous. Like they get into these gunfights and they're not gunfighters. They're like filmmakers.
No, but they
give these gunfights and they were like so brave. Like let's just go in there and they somehow like beat all these.
they're like
these
John
Indonesian
Woo
pirates.
pistols that
But
don't
that's-
run out of ammo and
I know it was so over the top, but like the thing
Clip
is
holds like 300
everyone's
rounds.
like everyone was asking like, well, what does he do? What does Zizou do? He's like, well, he's a Zizou, and everything.
He
Like,
didn't even know the most about the animals. His
no,
wife did.
you just no. Honestly, sometimes you just need someone to be the leader.
yeah.
And like doesn't need to be as good as everything else because when Zizou was on full bore, like we need to get this done.
Yeah.
They did get it done.
Yeah.
And so it was
Well, like
actually
he was the one who, like when the pirates were on their ship, he was the one who jumped up and started fighting back.
Yeah.
To save everybody.
that's what Zizou does.
and he's the one who led everybody onto that island to go get the guy nobody even cared about. The guy who was the company
Billy,
man.
the Stooge.
Yeah.
Billy was fantastic. I loved Billy so much. But then you had Owen Wilson's in this one. Luke is not in it, right?
No.
I didn't
don't
see
think
him
so.
in it. He gets replaced with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
That's basically what happens.
It's a good trade.
It is a good trade, and he plays the German like second in command or whatever.
Klaus.
Klaus.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
I loved
His
when he
interactions with the Wilson.
yeah.
With Owen.
They were
That's
really
Yeah.
funny. They're very sentimental and sweet, but it was like also kind of funny too. When he's like, "You put me on the flag." It was just.
But you
good.
stitched me on the dolphin.
Yeah.
You don't know how much that means to
It
me.
means so much to me. Yeah. He says, I don't want to be on B Squad. He says, you're not on B Squad.
Yeah.
You're the head of B Squad.
Yeah.
He says, we've always thought of you as our little brother. I always thought of you as my two dads. Don't tell anybody. I can't promise that. I can promise. No, you're right. I did laugh a lot at this movie. It was the weakest in terms of like a lot of different things, but you're right. I laughed really hard at a lot of
It's
this.
a little goofier than the others. I mean, not quite as heavy, like serious issues being addressed in a droll, like dry comedic way. It was just a little more, I don't know if surreal is the right word, but definitely like lighter and more airy and not quite as serious as the other two.
There are boobies in this.
The script girl.
That was really funny.
was a funny gag.
Just she's always topless.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but it's just like nobody cares.
Because it was the script girl. Like
Yeah.
nobody really cares. It wasn't like she was like a producer or somebody who was like really important.
Well, no, they all had like something. No, she was very important. She was script girl and chief navigator. They always had something dumb and they had something really important.
Yeah.
So it was like, this is our scientist and chief score writer or whatever. Yeah. So anyway, they all just had something else.
And there was like stuff that was just like impractical and over the top to be on a ship. Like ships are run very tight, like as far as like how everything is balanced.
It's a
inside them.
sauna.
They had a sauna. They had like a
spas and-
recording room. It was just all the stuff that you'd never find on
I
a ship.
want to go on the Belafonte, right? Don't you guys want to go on the Belafonte? Yeah. It's got the dream room. Actually, the dream room would destroy
The
my
little
soul.
observatory down at the bottom seemed pretty cool.
And when they raided Goldblum's like base out in the middle of the ocean,
Yeah.
all his stuff, his espresso machine, and
So
Wait, is this my espresso machine?
he's what has really
it has like his name on the side of it.
We freaking stole it, Billy the Stooge. You got Michael Gambon. I know. It's funny. It really
It is
is funny.
funny.
Yeah. Those glasses that Goldblum were wearing were Mark Mothersbaugh's. From
yeah.
Devo. He wrote the Rugrats song, but I guess
Dude from Devo.
Yeah, dude's from Devo. He whips it good. We are recording it the nighttime, which is not normally when we record. Yeah. So guess what, guys? It's a punchy episode. But I like that they always had the washed upness of everything was really funny. Just that like, I have these sneakers. And it's just like they totally stopped like making these because I'm washed up, and then everything. And then like they get a Speedo and a beanie, and they always put it on, and everything. I don't know. It's just it was good, and I tried watching this when it came out, and nope, did not enjoy it.
Really, this is my first time. I thought it was interesting.
But this I did enjoy it. When I say it's my least favorite of the three, I thoroughly enjoyed all three of these movies. Like this is another
Same.
Yeah. And so saying like this is the weakest was similar like when we did the John Carpenter one. I enjoyed all three movies.
Yeah.
Like just some were better.
Yeah, my only Wes Anderson exposure was Rushmore up to this point.
Did you see Fantastic Mr. Fox?
I saw parts of it. My sister had it because she's got little children. What the fuck are they called?
Small human clones.
Yeah, she's got the little.
She hasn't killed hers yet, like you would have yours.
Little homunculi. So I remember seeing like bits and pieces of it in the background. I liked it. Cool stop motion. I didn't know that was a Wes Anderson, but in its entirety, Rushmore was the only one I'd seen. And
I haven't seen Rushmore.
it was.
I haven't either.
It's a little more like a cohesive movie that is plausible than these other ones, but I mean, definitely Wes Anderson. Now that I've gotten a bigger taste,
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow. So do you think Ned was his son?
No. So he's sterile.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But I mean, they were both convinced that they were related, but she knew that he was sterile.
She knew, and I don't even think that Steve knew.
No, he
Probably
just
Steve.
wanted somebody who looked up to him that much.
He knew Steve Z wasn't.
His celebrity was waning, so I think they both wanted it.
They both needed something.
Yeah.
And like it was true. Like Steve had washed up and they needed some, and it's kind of a thing that goes through all of these movies that I watch. people are washed up. They're past their prime. That's what happened in the Tenenbaums. They were no longer successful.
Yeah.
They were all washed up. And then you had the same thing. The zoo is washed up. Grand Budapest Hotel, spoiler alert, the hotel is in decline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's all these different things that you have, and it's about like trying to recapture former glory.
Okay.
Wes Anderson has got to be the most like weirdly spoiled humans. I was reading about him too. He's like, well, he spends most of his time in Paris, but he would say that he's from New York City.
Yeah.
He's probably either super fun or insufferable to hang out with.
I bet it's insufferable.
I bet he's like a character from a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah.
Well, you would not want to hang out with any of them.
No.
Maybe Klaus. Klaus seems really loyal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I just, for some reason, when I read that, it's like, I don't like you. I don't know where I was going with that, other than just like, I don't, but the soundtrack was great. I thought that the movie itself the ending was profound. Just like, I'm going to like embrace that. He had just like forgot where he'd come from, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole submarine scene at the end where they're all like sitting inside there, which is ridiculous. There's no way they'd all fit in there.
Yeah.
Did you see the sign? It said no more than 4 people in the sub.
Yeah.
And then like,
There's like 14 in there.
Yeah.
That whole sequence it was very powerful. I think it's because of the music. The music really like swelled at that moment.
absolutely. That was the Mark. That was when they did the Mark Mothersbaugh
Okay.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a really cool scene. Just visually stunning. And that shark swims over them.
Mm-hmm.
Just how silly everything looked. The seahorses and everything. It was all just silly looking, but it was fun.
Yeah.
This movie had like very serious ups and downs, very lighthearted and fun, and then it got really dark. And like when Ned in the helicopter crash and he died, I was just like, holy crap! Like that was super heavy and depressing.
Yeah.
I went
didn't see that
They
coming.
went into gun battles and nobody died, but here he dies from a helicopter crash.
When he died, I went, wow.
Wow, wow, that's where they went, huh? Wow.
I found his accent to be insufferable. The whole like Kentucky thing, like, no,
Yeah.
man, you said Louisville. You didn't say Louisville. You said Louisville.
There were
Like,
some things that were super accurate. Like when I think Bull Dyke, I think Kate Blanchett.
I even said that to Donnie. I said, like, Donnie, have you watched Life Aquatic? He's like, no. They say so many.
In all of these, really.
Yeah, they
I don't
really
know
are very loose with
what
with
Wes
homosexual
Anderson's deal
slurs.
is, but yeah.
He says that, and it's like, so it's like, okay, am I supposed to like this character? He says the bad F word a lot. Like this character, and like, why am I supposed to cheer for this guy whatsoever? I don't like in a lot of these movies, this is something I still stay with. Everyone is doing a voice. That's not how Kate Blanchett talks.
Yeah.
That's not her voice. That's weird. It's like, hello, it's me, Kate Blanchett. That's not how she talks. She has a beautiful, melodious voice. I have a
Yeah,
huge
her
crush.
normal speaking voice.
I
She
love-
sounds like Galadriel.
I love Kate Blanchett. I think she's transcendent. I love her. But so she's talking like this. It's like, what are you doing? Don't do that. That's bad. And then like same thing with Owen Wilson is talking like he's from Kentucky. It's like that's not. Don't do that. Like everyone else, the only one that actually pulled off their accent was Willem Dafoe, was Klaus. So, but then also in Grand Budapest Hotel, they don't make people have accents. They just talk with whatever their voice is. So anyway, it's very interesting to see
What is that? You mean Grand Budapest?
Oh, Budapest.
Yeah.
Budapest. I do want to go to, I know it's Dubrovka. You guys want to move on like to Grand Budapest, or do you got more to say?
I the only thing I was going to say was that Kate Blanchett really was pregnant when they were like fitting her for like her
She fainted,
her
right?
cast.
Yeah.
She fainted, and then like Wes Anderson had made like a joke that was taking method acting too far. She didn't know she was
I'm sure that
pregnant.
went over real well. He's like, he's, you know what he sounds like? He sounds like he's a guy that would speak normally when he's talking, but when he orders something like from a menu, like he says it super like, oh, hi, my name's Wes. I'd like for breakfast, I'd like a croissant and some bruschette for lunch today, and just like normal talking, and then like tortilla. Like really put the emphasis on. Anyway, yeah, that's it.
All right, moving on.
It's good.
I'm hungry for a Hungarian quickie with Big D.
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yes.
Allegedly bisexual concierge with art and poetry fetishes goes to prison in this biography documenting the early life of Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe was amazing in this movie. His
He's
character was so freaking
awesome.
cool.
He's so scary. He's so scary with all his that punch scene was
With all
fantastic.
his fun murder.
He's so. I was really bummed. Actually, that was the saddest part of the movie when he kills Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
It was sad.
Like hunts him down and then the finger chopping off and
Chops his-
collects the fingers and takes them.
Lots of finger chopping off in some of these movies.
Yeah, I noticed that their correlation with taking fingers.
Yeah.
Gwyneth
I
Paltrow
wouldn't-
lost her finger in Tenenbaums.
What
Yeah.
about in Zazoo? Does anyone lose their
I'm
fingers?
sure somebody lost their finger. Well, one guy gets eaten.
Get ripped in half. Oh, we didn't say that about Zazoo. Did the jaguar shark kill him? It was very up in the air at the beginning. No one believed him.
Oh, Miguel, you mean? Did the jaguar shark? Yeah, I think for sure because he proved that the jaguar shark existed.
I understand the jaguar exists.
Jaguar shark. We keep those words are blurring together. Jaguar shark.
Great radio. You're right. No. By proving that the jaguar shark existed,
yeah.
that proved that his
Story was real
the full story was real.
because no one believed there was a shark that could just swallow him whole.
Mhm.
But once they saw it, they're like, "Oh, okay, he's not crazy."
Yeah.
It was like a redemption moment for Zazoo.
They say I'm crazy. I'm not crazy.
But back to Grand Budapest Hotel.
So I feel like with this movie, it is a full growing up, a maturity that Wes Anderson, because like you kept everything that you liked about his movies, the frame shots, the beautiful colors,
Narration.
the quirky, weird characters.
Yeah.
But he didn't make anybody have a.
I was gonna say the fun like scene cuts where like somebody says something and then the other person like looks over at him and then they take a shot at him like looking over him, like just it was really fun. Like that there was like almost like a Portlandia level of like cutting where like you cut almost like musically, like it's got like a meter to it.
Yeah.
It's very fun and I felt like it fit the score perfectly.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful and it was moving. And I felt
great story, just great characters. Everything about it was perfect.
I was blown away by this movie.
Yeah,
and
the
really
fictional country that he made up, like
Dubrovka?
it felt very real. Actually, they were saying like where they filmed, it was somewhere like on the
It was in
German
Germany. It
and
was in-
Polish border, at a place where it's like 10 miles away from the Ukraine. I think I might be wrong on that.
Nah,
but it was,
that doesn't work that way.
no.
That's-
Well, hold on, I'll tell you right now.
But they all stayed in that hotel together to make things go because he'd said earlier and when he was making this movie,
Czech Republic.
Oh, okay,
It's like 10 miles from Czech Republic. So it felt like a country that would be kind of right there in like sort of
Totally.
Central Europe. Yeah.
Who knows? At some point, there was a country right there.
I don't think I even caught that it was a fictional country.
It was the seat the
named
former
after a vodka.
seat. Yeah, it's named after vodka. I found it that like, it was like a culmination of him growing up, and I had said that earlier, but like it just kept all the things that made him unique and got rid of all the things that were like, okay, that was for a time.
Mm.
But I cried multiple times. I found Monsieur Gustav. I found him to be such an incredible character.
He was.
He was amazing.
Always stood up for what was right. And
But-
like he was really good at like just like making friends even with like the strangest of people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mine was I always liked how he just would go from like being very erudite and like refined and everything. Like, well, screw it.
Yeah.
Like just
Fuck off.
Yeah. Just like going back and forth. It was so good. And Little Zero was fantastic.
Yeah. I loved when he woke up when he like paints the mustache on with like a Sharpie.
Yeah. Every morning.
That was too good.
And Saoirse Ronan's in this. She played
a great character.
She's
too, yeah.
so good. She's so brave.
Yeah.
But like, why? I really think that Adrian Brody, there's no way that he's not a horrible human in real life, right?
Why? Because he always plays bad
He's
characters.
just a douchebag. It's just every movie. It's just like there's no way.
Or he's just a really good actor and plays douchebags super well.
I do have a lot of respect for Adrian Brody. He can play everything. He can play a weirdo. He can play like kind of a weakling nerd. He can play like a badass tough guy
Yeah.
in Predators.
Yeah.
I do like when he's like doing like the slow walk to get Agatha.
Yeah.
And she runs like a normal human. He's like, crap, I can't do this cool thing that I want to do. And so he has to like run after her at the end. But if you haven't seen this movie, Home Trees, watch this movie. Even if you're not like, I don't care for Wes Anderson, watch this movie.
It doesn't win that many Oscars for being crap. Like it's good.
Or nominated so many BAFTAs.
Yeah,
and
well,
everything.
it was Adrian Brody, Tilda Swinton, Fisher Stevens, and F. Murray Abraham all won Oscars. And then the rest of everybody else in the cast all were nominees.
Was this F. Murray Abraham's last movie?
I think he's still alive.
I thought he was dead. Although that would have been a good one to go out on. Like,
Yeah.
I think Tenenbaums was actually my favorite of these three. But if I was going to recommend one of these three to someone else, it would be this one.
It would definitely be the easiest.
Hold on, when did he die though? I want to.
I don't
Because
think
he's in Homeland.
Who?
I don't think
F. Murray Abraham.
I don't
Oh.
think he's dead.
Maybe he's still alive.
Well, we're about to either have a rescue out in Pache or we'll say, hooray! He is.
I thought he died like fairly recently.
No, it says is an American actor. No,
All right.
so he is alive.
Good.
Hooray! Hooray for F. Murray.
I'm all for that.
I know him, of course, as Salieri
from Amadeus.
Amadeus. He's incredible in that movie. Have you seen that movie?
No.
We should do it. It's crazy, and there's so many different weird filming techniques. The entire movie is filmed in natural light, and so like they would either do it with candles or they would do it with the sun, and it's crazy how they did it. It's amazing.
And he's just incredible. He won an Oscar. For
That was like his first like real role.
Yeah.
And he comes in and like, well, I won an Oscar. What else do I do from now on? So, it's an amazing film. It's definitely MGT worthy because there's a lot to talk about because Mozart is so weird in it. He's just like the grossest character.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a very good movie. You know what else is a really good movie? The Grand Budapest Hotel. So Tilda Swinton as Madame D was such good makeup.
Yeah.
And I'd read that they skimped out on everything possible except for her makeup, and they won an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
Huh.
So she looks fantastic. But I wanted to stay at the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh, I totally love to say that. Yeah.
In the baths and everything with the food and everything, and I liked all the fake diseases that they kept giving people.
Oh,
He had like writer's fugue or writer's fever or something like that, which was a affliction that was hitting the intelligentsia community or something like that. I like that there were 3 flashbacks for this movie.
Yeah, you start off in 85, back to
6
63,
and then
or 68.
and then 32.
Yeah. That was interesting. He actually, Wes Anderson, he filmed, and I don't know anything about like the technical elements of filming, but you film in certain ratios, like 2.35 to 1 or 1.65 to 1. So he filmed each different time period in a different ratio.
It
So
said
you
that
can
at the
tell
beginning. It said it at the beginning when I was watching. It says set your screen to 16:9.
Okay. So he was very specific about how theaters were supposed to set this thing up and display it because he needed that to work to show the different timelines.
Some next level shit right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, no, it's like Inception level. Like it's like a movie within a movie within a movie.
He's never seen Inception.
I know.
I don't get that
And
reference.
it's
We should force him to watch it. We need to actually just do an episode where it's just all the things that Donnie should have seen by now: Titanic, Inception, and one of the
I
other
still
ones.
say it. We need to do an episode. It's just felt like watching it.
Maybe Morgan will have us do a Jim Jarmusch movie, Inception, and Amadeus.
Rock Me
I don't-
Amadeus.
I don't know how they tie together, but
I've said it before. We talked about it again. We talked about it amongst each other. We need to do it once a year, once a quarter, or something. Just felt like watching it, and like have it be nothing puts these together other than just like I felt like watching this movie.
Yeah.
and I don't watch movies usually except for the show.
Yeah.
But
it's a treat at this point. Like, there's a movie I want to watch, and I'm gonna watch it.
ooh,
So every one of these movies uses like something that's like kind of silly. Like it was the little colorful animals in the submarine movie.
The
This one,
submarine movie.
this movie.
you never sounded more like a dad in your entire life, except for that moment. Hand me the clicker. I want to watch the submarine movie with the colorful animals.
I liked this one, like the miniatures they used for the downhill chase.
Oh my gosh, it was
the
so good.
ski scene.
The ski scene was so good. It felt, hit the jump when they fly over. I liked all the weird scenes too, like where they were like ascending the mountain, and like it's just like their silhouettes getting out of the little, what do you call the carts and the cables?
Little.
It's a weird word.
What
It
are
is a
those
weird
cars on cables? Cable cars.
No, but they
No,
actually
there's
use the
another
word.
word, yeah.
They say them
Yeah.
in Adventure Zone Amnesty,
Not a trolley.
and it's a weird word, but like they use it. I'm like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
And so then we watch this, and it's like, oh, well, it's another.
There's a very specific term for those that take you up a ski mountain. But anyway, I just liked how it was like it was animated or cardboard or something, but
it was
it was definitely different than just
weird.
filming. I loved all those little elements in this. It gave it such a weird feel. Or like
That-
Are you Monsieur Gustave from the Grand Budapest
yes,
Hotel?
that scene. I was laughing my ass off.
yeah.
Yes, damn it! Just tell me, who am I supposed to talk to next?
Yeah, or like when they were there in the car and the car drives up to the train station. It's obviously like toys that they like the little miniatures that they used. Very very fun way to film the movie.
I liked it when they were escaping from the prison and they're like walking over the
Sleeping carts.
well, I'd call that a draw.
Yeah.
Just the attention to every little minute detail in every scene.
Yeah.
God, it must take forever to set everything up to be perfect. To
It's
dress
gotta
all the
be
scenes.
it's got to be so much work to put.
Yeah.
that you put
And like
into
I said, the rapid fire like cut of scenes, like it would be like the same setting, but it would be like I said, just focus on his face. Now focus on that person's face. Now focus on that person's face. Now the first person makes a funny face. The next person makes a funny face. Just setting all that up and having to film it so many times and then cutting all that together. It takes so much work. It's a labor of love.
I just this movie just it fixes anything that I had a problem with in Wes Anderson movies, and just like it distilled it.
I could totally see that. Yeah, the little cool scenes and directorial choices. There's a scene where Zero is like in Agatha's room and her boss or whatever, Mendel, is coming up.
Yeah.
And so he goes up through the roof, the hatch in the roof, and it's just a stationary shot. And so he runs off one side, and like a second later, he's a couple buildings over running the other way. That just tickled me for some reason.
Yeah. It's got like a cartoony kind of a feel.
Yeah.
Where like it doesn't work in reality, but it's still very entertaining to see.
Yeah. When the confession booth scene, the guy stops talking, and so they go out and he's been murdered, and they look up and Willem Dafoe is swinging the censer with the incense in it and has the robe on, and like they lock eyes. It's very like Warner Brothers cartoon. Yeah.
It's good.
Right before the chase scene starts. Yeah.
I gotta figure out what those cable cars are called. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
They're called something
it's a
weird.
word like trebuchet, but it's not trebuchet.
No,
but it's something like
that's
that.
it. Mine was it was like exactly. Mine's like it's something like
trunculus
gondola.
or something.
Or it's not a gondola,
Wait,
but it's not a
gondolas?
gondola.
Gondolas
They are called gondolas too.
You're talking about the one that's in front of the Grand Budapest Hotel that goes up.
But specifically at a
It's
diagonal.
a T word, right?
It's something,
Yeah.
and I'm losing my mind because I have heard it so many times.
A gondola would be a thing that hangs from a cable, right?
Yes.
So that's what we were looking for
I
for that
thought
word.
a gondola was like a
boat, huh?
canoe in
There
Italy.
can be air gondolas too.
Okay.
And they have to be those are
Sky gondolas.
because remember they used to have that at Disneyland.
Yeah.
That would go through the Matterhorn.
What's that? It's a T word, I swear.
I can't find
the
it
thing
though.
that comes
I'm
before
I'm frantically searching to the detriment of our show.
They actually said it in the movie.
I know.
It's at the very beginning of the movie.
Funicular.
Yeah.
That's yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a T word.
Oh man.
All right, that was entertaining for the home trees, I'm sure.
I can relax now.
You could have just busted out your copy of the script.
I should have. I've got it right here.
That is
I printed it up.
that is a 53 episode callback right there. That is amazing, and I love you for it. This movie was heartbreaking, but also just is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like how that when Monsieur Gustave does get all the money, it's like obviously it was going to him.
Yeah.
Like the whole time. That was also funny too when they're talking. This
Which
painting is
means
just
she
garbage.
knew her son was going to murder her.
She did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
But if my son was
I
Adrian
happen to die from murder, then everything goes to M. Gustav.
Yeah.
I also for me is like obviously Adrian Brody's going to kill you. He's a douchebag.
Yeah. Why did all her sisters they were like in with him?
They were all dudes too, right?
Oh, they probably were.
I
Yeah,
think that they
pretty
were
ugly.
dudes.
Those were his sisters. Those were her daughters, right?
Oh, it was his sisters. I thought those were his aunts.
I thought
I thought it was her sisters.
they were all siblings, but he was like the head of
Yeah.
the children.
He's like you're gay, and he says, well, I mean, like, I thought you said I was gay. Well, you're bisexual.
Yeah, he calls him bisexual, and he says something like, "That's the first time I've been accused of that," or something. It was
Well, it's just like I sleep with all of my friends, and like he just wasn't picky. That's really what it was.
Yeah.
He just wasn't picky.
he
Well,
just likes to make people happy.
Yeah,
he meets the needs of the hotel guests.
Yeah.
No matter what those needs
no
are.
matter
Yeah.
what they are, whether they were shy. We're hungry. The fellatio scene I could have done without. I'm not
What's
kidding.
funny is he was doing that for that person.
Yeah, that's what they needed.
That was satisfying them.
Yeah.
That was for them. What was their need? It was they were lonely. That's what it was. Anyway, the food looked amazing. I know I went from fellatio right to food.
The stuff from Mendel's.
Went from fellatio to fillet.
Yeah, that stuff from Mendel's. Yeah, she had talked about that doing the work. Saoirse Ronan had talked about that was the hardest part of the movie.
She was like in an action flick.
Yeah, Hannah is.
Hannah is the action movie she was in. She's that making those pastries is the hardest thing she had to do to prepare for a role.
She's a very, very good actor.
I like her a lot.
She was in Lady Bird, which I didn't love Lady Bird, but it wasn't for me. It was about mother-daughter interactions.
I never saw that one. I don't think.
That's like last year, right? That's super recent.
Yeah, it just came out. She won an Oscar for it.
She was an Irish girl who comes
That's
to America.
Brooklyn.
Yeah,
That was Brooklyn, yeah. And that was her. And then, of course, Hannah. She was on a Saturday Night Live episode, and
The song was hilarious. How to pronounce her name?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was like
so funny.
It's like a mnemonic device to remember how to say her name, it's very complicated.
Yeah.
I still don't know even after the song.
Yeah.
It was a very, very clever song.
Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse Ronan. Yeah, but it's spelled like Saucy. It's spelled Saucy.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good. That whole thing with like, was she the one that was killed? The most intense scene is actually when Willem Dafoe is, so Monsieur Gustave is hanging from the ledge and he's smashing the ice to knock him off. That was actually the most intense scene because you're like, oh, he's gonna die.
I don't know. The stalking of I don't remember Goldblum's.
Jeff Goldblum's
characters.
Hinkles? No, he wasn't
No.
Hinkles.
It's Jeff Goldblum. He's Goldblum in all of his movies.
Kovacs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kovacs.
when he's stalking Kovacs to the museum.
That was really cool.
Yeah, that was
Just
so Willem Dafoe's all of his scenes were super intense.
Yeah.
I love the growing like bro-ness between Zero and Gustav.
Yeah.
Just that like they love each other. And don't flirt with my wife. Like don't flirt with her. But like he didn't put up with it too. He was so far
Is he
below.
flirting with you?
Is he flirting with you? It was great. It really was just a beautiful movie.
Brilliant writing. It was
And
the overall great plot, great story. Yeah.
yeah. And it's just a sad, but like that's just life. And he's a multi-billionaire.
Well, it was sad, but it was a happy story for Zero. Zero was just like a loyal dude, and he ended up, winning big and getting all the money.
Yeah, but he lost a lot too along the way.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't seen more hipsters wearing lobby boy hats.
Right?
You'd think that would be a thing.
Yeah, it was a cool hat. I like when he sees the new lobby boy after he's been replaced. He's like, "Who are you?" I'm the new lobby boy.
You do not give information away that much. It's hard with these movies because like they're just really good and they're hard to like break down because there's so much going on. And
it's so like dissected. It's like these quick little like these little clips. You know what I mean? There's not
takes place in 3 different time periods.
Yeah. So it's hard to break anything
No
apart.
Luke Wilson in this one. No, I didn't. No Luke. There was an Owen.
Was Jason Schwartzman? He was in at least one of these, right?
He was in.
I was expecting him in most of them. Yeah, he was one of that whole like chain of hotel operators. Like
no, Schwartzman was the concierge during the Jude Law time period. Monsieur Jean.
Okay,
Monsieur Jean.
I thought he was in that chain of like the
Crossed Keys Club.
Yeah, the Crossed Keys Club.
I would love to get like a patch for that.
Yeah.
The Cross Keys. No, he was not in that.
Oh, okay.
He was not in that. No,
we should mention that is the scene where Bill Murray was.
Yeah.
So we addressed the Bill Murray in all these movies.
Mivan is his name. Yeah. Just a really good movie. Yeah. And like, yeah, it's this like, I like the whole idea of like this like brotherhood of weird jobs. Like what's the brotherhood of concierge?
This is the first one that I watched and I was trying to multitask. I was organizing some stuff. And so maybe that's where I missed like the different country or whatever in the first 5 minutes. But I was like, this is too wordy and there's so much going on. Like I can't multitask. I gotta focus on this one.
You got to pay attention because it's similar to a Tarantino movie. It's all dialogue driven and subtle nuance in the
groundbreaking
in the face. Yeah.
This is one of those movies that I watch and when I finish it, I'm like, man, I'm so glad I watched that movie.
For sure.
That was
I felt like a better
worth it.
person after. Yeah. I told Elise afterwards, is like, babe, because I watched these all by myself. and I told Babe, like, you got to watch the Grand Budapest Hotel. She's like, wait, did you just recommend a Wes Anderson film? I was like, yep.
So Galindo did it. He made you a fan of Wes Anderson.
Galindo, mother flipping. You did it, man.
Mother flipper.
I will definitely go back and try and check. I will definitely watch Rushmore for sure. I Love Dogs. I don't. It's a kids movie too at the same time, so I just don't think I'll try it. And then the other one is Bottle Rocket and Darjeeling Unlimited. We'll see, but I'll definitely give them another shot. But also, I don't know if I want to go back to those ones because those
just
ones
go
are
forward with whatever Wes Anderson makes up next.
and that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. So, man, you read my mind.
Yeah.
These nighttime ones, we have the
nighttime is the right time.
nighttime is the right time. We good?
Good.
Yep.
Okay.
It's good and
This episode is brought to you by WeAreDapperTies.com. We Are Dapper Ties is a company created by brothers Andrew and Julian who believe that feeling and looking great should be an affordable right for all. So whether you're wearing a suit and tie daily, heading to your first interview, an advocate of classy dates, or you just need good-looking ties, you need a Dapper Tie. Andrew and Julian have carefully curated beautiful designs to offer you a selection of knitted, elegant, unique, and affordable ties. Go to WeAreDapperTies.com and enter the promo code GOODER to get a free shipping on all your orders all over the U.S. Dapper Ties, smart, affordable fashion.
it's good and
So, this got completely destroyed, like beyond recognition, because I was going to try out something new this week in our effort to replace Objectively Gooder. Our first submission is from Thomas Howarth, good old buddy, patron extraordinaire. We'll get to your episode soon, buddy. Don't worry. And he's calling it Two Truths and a Lie. And we'll see how it goes. If it sticks, he gets a fancy dice bag. It's good in theory. We talked about every single thing that's on my list right now. So
Yeah, I'm not changing my process. I've been doing this since like day one.
the only thing I can think of is that you're in charge of Two Truths and a Lie now.
We could do that. We definitely could do that.
Okay, but I just thought it was.
But then I had nothing to talk about now during the actual episode because
No, you just cherry pick.
Yeah.
Just start cherry picking.
Okay.
And so, but anyway, so here's
then I got to do a whole bunch more like prep work.
no.
I
You
don't
literally
know.
just keep what you do and you put in one lie.
Okay.
I just think it's a really good idea. So
Two
anyway,
truths and a lie. You're gonna have to remind me next
yeah.
week
So
when we're
anyway,
prepping.
mine was in Royal Tenenbaums. So let's try it with Corey. Let's try it with Donnie real quick. Okay, let's see if he remembers any of the conversation we had.
Okay.
That we just had?
That we-
Probably not.
Just said. Okay, so there's going to be two truths
Okay.
and a lie.
All right.
The original Hawk used to play Mordecai was kidnapped during shooting and held for ransom.
Aha! So it was a hawk, not a falcon.
Production could not wait for him to return. That bird that appears later in the movie has more white feathers because it's a different bird. Gene Wilder turned down the role of Royal Tenenbaum due to his retirement. Danny Glover, Luke Wilson, and Owen Wilson all turned down parts in Shrek to appear in this film. Which one? There are two truths and one lie.
Yeah, the last one is the lie. They turned down parts in Ocean 11.
There you go. See?
Ocean's 11.
So see, that's how it's going to work. It's going to be nice, but it was destroyed.
But
because
wait, you said the second one, you said Gene Hackman turned down.
Gene Wilder.
Oh, Gene Wilder. Okay, I was gonna like, no.
I heard it
he
the same
didn't,
too. Yeah.
because he played that role in this movie.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so for Life Aquatic, there was the thing about her being pregnant. It was
True.
Yeah, true, and everything. Anyway, this was an interesting fact that we didn't talk about, but this is just because Ned Plimpton wasn't always the genteel Southern man he was in the film. Anderson added that character detail after he heard Wilson doing an impression of Wilson's Armageddon co-star and South Carolinian Will Patton. So he was basically making fun of the guy from Armageddon,
Yeah.
which is, as we all know, Donnie's favorite movie of all
Yeah.
time. So anyway, these True Truths and Lies, we talked literally about every single one of these we talked about it, but I think we need to give it another shot. And
Now that we know, like,
yeah.
like I said, I'm not changing my process that I've been doing since
And
day
that's
one.
what I'm saying. So I want you to switch.
Okay.
And I think
So you'll just have to go more obscure.
I either have to go more obscure and have them not be about the movies at all, or I need to do, okay, so there's two things. Corey does the True Truths and Lie segment, and I get to play, or I actually make something up about the movie from when I'm watching it. So I go like, not from like IMDb. I literally like say, who said, like, this person said this person said that, something to that effect. Like I make them up completely. What would you rather do? Because I do think we need to give it another shot.
Is this all going on there?
I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
people love that behind the scenes
right.
shit.
I know. We'll decide later off the
Anyway,
air.
home to Thomas, not your fault, buddy. It's a good idea, and we'll work on that.
All right.
So, but we're gonna kill Objectively Gooder. We're gonna kill it, and we're gonna replace it with something else. It will rise from the ashes. It's gonna happen. We also had another submission from
Paris Burns.
from Paris from Dungeons and Dragons, but we'll try that out once we try this one out. But this will be a nice ongoing process because we're not going anywhere.
It's good and
We don't declare each other the winner here at MGT. That's for you, the Twitter poll, and whoever invented the leisure suit. I dominated in these movies. But we do think someone should win and lose, and that's where we have Gooder, Batter, Fugly. Who's your winner, Corey?
0. Started off as a refugee from a country and had no status, and he ends up with like immense wealth.
The richest man in Zubrovka.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, he's the biggest loser. He loses his best. I understand.
Yeah.
I don't argue, but also he loses the most.
Yeah, I'm thinking of just from start to finish, like where he came from. He had to flee his country because he had, would they say he had no status, or your country has no status? And then he ends up with immense wealth and owns this hotel.
I don't think
and
his
he has
country
Boy
even
with
is-
Apple.
Boy with Apple.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I mean,
Everything
from start
else-
to finish, he wins.
Everything else is just
I don't know.
worthless.
He loses Agatha. He loses his infant daughter. Like,
And Mr. Gustav.
yeah, and Gustav.
We haven't gotten to the loser yet.
No. What's your winner, Donnie?
My winner, I can't remember the character's name. The Ben Stiller character.
Chaz?
Yeah, Chaz.
Yeah.
Yes.
He definitely.
Yeah, because I mean, I think he grows. Well, maybe not grows the most. But
he's the most normal to me.
He gets maybe more than anyone in any of these movies. He gets what he wants. Like he
gets closure with his father, and
the at least a little taste of an actual like parental relationship. And that's really all he wants.
that is all he wants. He wants his dad to love him.
Yeah.
Powerful. When Royal dies and Chaz is the only one there, I cried. It was a beautiful it was very touching.
I didn't, but I said Chris cried at this point. Like,
You guys are gonna hate me for this. The winner here, it's honestly,
you?
it's me. It's me. I found 3 movies that previously I didn't like and would not have given the time of day for Grand Budapest, and I'm now a fan, and I'm a better man for it.
Right.
That is a legit meta.
Yeah, that's good. What's your loser, Corey?
Ned Plimpton.
Oh yeah,
He lost his name, he lost his inheritance, and in the end, he lost his life.
yeah. He should have done the barrel roll. He should have done the barrel roll at the very end to slow the descent. Not that that
Is that a
would
thing
matter.
you're supposed to do in a helicopter?
That's what he said as he was
Yeah.
dying. That was like
Yeah.
his last words.
There was a funny scene in that helicopter where he had something in his hand. It was like a letter or something like that. And he lifts it up and it's like in scene. And I was like, you can't really do that when you're flying a helicopter. It takes 2 hands.
Yeah.
You have a hand on like the stick that takes you up or down. You have one that tilts you.
No,
and you have to your feet.
Bill Murray holds up the letter because he's still got the letter that Ned sent him when he
I
was a
remember
kid.
there was a specific scene where
The Kingston, sorry.
he had something in his hand.
His name's Kingston now. Or what?
Oh, right.
Is that it was
Kingsley.
Kingsley? There you go. Yeah, Kingston.
There was a scene where
Kingston's
he's
in
flying,
Jamaica.
but he had something in his left hand, and it's like you. And I don't know if that stick that lift stick actually it stays rigid, or if you got to keep it,
There's so many going on there. I can't let it pass.
or if it falls limp when you let it go. I don't know.
The lift stick is rigid. You ever been in a helicopter?
Yes,
It's amazing.
it is.
It's better than any roller coaster you've ever been in. Donnie, have you been in a helicopter?
Nope.
It's crazy.
It is.
Take your word for
and
it.
it's so smooth. Like we've all been on like jets, when they take off, like it's shaking around and it's rumbling, and you're taking off. In a helicopter, it's like the
Whirly gigs?
yeah, I was gonna say it's whirling because they kept calling him whirlybird. The turret is spinning. What is it called?
Rotor?
Rotor. That's what I'm looking for. The
turret.
rotor is spinning. And it's loud and stuff like that, but you put on headphones and then it
Yeah.
kind of cancels it out. And then like as soon as he starts to take off, it's like you don't even realize you're lifting off. Just the ground starts moving away so softly, and you just flying fast, very quickly.
And low. That's
Yeah.
the thing that makes it so different than being in an airplane, because you don't get the idea of how fast you're going when you're in a jumbo jet. Because like once you're going fast, you're 35,000 feet in the air.
Yeah.
You don't have the frame of reference.
There's no,
You can see out your little window, but it's still a small little box that
Yeah.
you're looking through. But in
You're
a
not-
helicopter, it's all glass bubble that you're looking through.
and you're only flying maybe 30,
20 feet,
30 feet off the ground.
Still high enough to die.
Oh, you're definitely dead
when
if you
you
crash.
There's just so much energy from the rotor, not the turret. God damn it.
from the Whirlybird. Oh, what's that up there?
The whirly whip.
Oh no! So Ned, Ned,
Pinwheel on top.
Ned. Yeah,
He's a loser. Like,
but
I feel like he came out here, like, he had a good job, and he came out here to find out who his dad was, and I think he kind of knew it wasn't his dad, but he just ended up losing everything, and the dad kind of took advantage of him.
Kind of became his dad.
I don't know, but at the same time, and I think this is indicative of these movies, nobody's a complete winner. No one's a complete loser. Everyone just is kind of better.
Batting 500.
Well, everyone's just basically like slightly better or slightly worse. It's all just a little bit off. No, I mean, like, it's not like, it's like real life.
Klaus is better.
Klaus,
Yeah.
Yeah, Klaus.
Should have been winner.
Klaus comes up.
Klaus does come. Who's your loser, Donnie?
My losers are Richie and Margot.
Oh, yeah.
When they come to their, like, yeah, we can love each other, but
That's it.
that's it.
Can't bang.
Yeah. We'll just love each other secretly and not acknowledge it at all.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum in both these movies.
Yeah.
Like, he loses both of them.
He doesn't lose entirely in Life Aquatic.
He gets, he says
He survives.
He does
Loses
say,
his espresso machine.
this is my espresso. We stole it, man. He boosted it. And then he definitely loses.
He lost actually his ship and his crew and everything.
Yeah.
And he took a bullet to the chest.
Steve rescued him though. Like, they're rivals and like
I think
don't
they had
really
a
like each
professional
other.
respect. Yeah. Like Hennessy was Team Hennessy was like the new Steve Zissou. It was like they were taking over.
He got all
so
the
he
good-
didn't have to rescue him. He could have just walked away quietly. But
that scene made the movie for me when he
That's
goes to
terrible.
rescue him. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a great scene.
Yeah. So good. This is a good scene. But yeah, he gets killed in a very scary fashion by Willem Dafoe and he gets shoved in a sarcophagus.
First he gets his fingers cut off.
Ugh, it's scary. It was a tense scene, man.
It was.
Guys, just for
Again,
following
because the score, the music,
the letter of the law
made it very tense.
It's a letter of the law. It was just following the law.
Yeah.
And Adrian Brody, true to real life,
Sent his hitman.
was a bad person. Any fuglies? There's not a lot of fuglies in these movies, but
Honestly, no, I hadn't. I thought about it all day.
Yeah.
There was nothing really obvious. Like, I honestly thought everything was pretty beautiful.
When they-
beautifully shot.
When they pull the club-footed girl's head out of the box. or
oh
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah. I guess that's the fuggliest.
Yeah, that was pretty fugly.
the amount of smoking that's really bad for you. That's probably the fugly. Don't smoke, kids. But
Unless you have an EPUB for 60.
yeah, you gotta get this EPUB for 69.69. But Galindo, man, your continued friendship, now friendship for me, because like we talk more often than I would have thought. It's great. It's awesome. But anyway, thank you so much for your generosity, man. And until next year when we do another episode devoted to you. But thanks, man. And honestly, to all of our Patreon supporters. But right now, Galindo, it's all about you right now, buddy. But that is going to do it for us in the MGT Recording Bunker. We really appreciate you rating, reviewing, and subscribing to the podcast on the Apple Podcast app or whichever podcatcher that you can rate us on. Please do that. If you think you know anyone who like our show, tell them about us. You lose nothing from that, except for you might lose their friendship because they don't like us.
Perhaps a little dignity.
You don't want to be friends with them if they don't like us.
Yeah.
Were they really your friend in the first place? I don't know. Please follow us on Twitter at MGT Podcast or on Instagram and Facebook at More Gooder Than. Email us at moregooderthan@gmail.com and visit our website, mgtpodcast.com, where you can support us via Patreon, like the Mother Flippin' Galindo, and our great and powerful sponsor, Nan, and the rest of the Sacred Grove. While you're there, you can buy a nice...
prosthetic finger.
Does that have our logo on it?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. You get that at our merch page. Speaking of merch page, I've said it before. People have taken us up on it, most notably, most recently, Morgan. If you're going to buy something, message us. We always have coupons from Redbubble. Anyway, MGT logo designed by Mary Madewell, Home Tree logo designed by Dan Nicholson, and of course, we're proud members of the Podfix Network. Follow us on Twitter at Podfix and go to podfixnetwork.com to see the full lineup of shows and listen to the NFL Weekly Recap Show appearing today on Podfix Presents. So I'm saluting you like Gustav does to Ned, because I found that to be a very powerful moment. So that's bye for me, Chris and Corey.
Later.
And Donnie.
See ya.
shows like it at oddfixnetwork.com.
Gustav to Ned?
Yeah, that's two different
movies.
movies.
No, what?
is
Gustav's from
Grand
Budapest.
Ned is Life Aquatic.
No, what's the name of Willem Dafoe's character in Klaus? Let me change that then.
Klaus,
That's-
Klaus is from a different movie than Gustav.
Klaus salutes Ned at the end. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I got
Okay.
the names
Can
mixed
you
up.
just say it again?
Sure. So I'm wait, you gotta go potty? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. You can just leave the whole thing in. I'm hungry
Hold on.
for a Hungarian.
You gotta wait. I wasn't recording that.
Oh,
I had to stop and save. So-
You didn't say that you were going to stop and save.
I didn't
We
say get
always
some either.
stop it safe.
I don't know.
Why can I?
I
not
want
get
to
my
go to
freaking
play Red Dead
glasses
Redemption.
I know. I want to go get what I gotta get done, and then I want to play a little Fallout. So stop slurping into the mic and get some.